Is there a chronic fatigue syndrome cure? I say there is. I've discovered it for me. I think there is for everybody. And I think you have to find out which path is right for you. So I'm going to share with you the top 5 paths that I've discovered, and maybe you'll find an answer in there. So, number 5, I would say, is rest and pacing. The usual stuff they tell you. When you go get checked out, they say, hey, listen, you're obviously tired. Why don't you rest? Why don't you recover? Take it slow. Obvious, common sense, right? This may be the case, depending on what is the cause of the fatigue, right? I'm not a doctor, but if the doctor looked you over and they said, hey, take some rest, take some time, you might just come right out of it and you might be fine. Okay. Number 4, I would say this is the supplements, all the stuff that you can take, right? Like working with your biology, right? I'd say that's number 4. I ended up bankrupting my family on this method because I got a little carried away. I was spending like $800 a month on supplements and taking all these things and all that stuff. And ultimately, it was marginal, if any, results. Okay. Number 3, I'd say energy medicine, healers, quantum mechanics, things that are all in the realm of that, that quantum field. I discovered relief in this area. I started to get relief in this area. In fact, I got a lot of relief in this area. All right. And there were certain modalities and people out there. There was, let's say, ways to get my nervous system to calm down. So what I found, for me at least, was that fatigue was not necessarily what I thought it was. It was more along the lines of what PTSD would be like. That was the secret. And so when I learned how to calm my nervous system down, and there were energy techniques to do it, right? There's like EFT, tapping on yourself. There's all kinds of them, right? Reiki, things that they can help certain people. All right. Now, number 2 is, I believe, faith, spirituality, and really getting to the root cause of purpose in life and finding out where you got off track, if that's applicable, right? I mean, obviously, if you've got something the doctor said, hey, the reason why you're fatigued is this organic disease, this and this and this, take it for whatever you will. But look, if your faith is not where it's supposed to be, this can be a real problem. All right. If you're living a life that's outside of the life that you were born to live, I believe you could have this chronic fatigue, right? Because you've gone in the wrong direction. Okay. And faith has a lot to do with that. Now, these number 1, obviously, the number 1 thing I found was the mind body. All right. Dr. John Sarno opened up my mind years ago with healing back pain. And he talked about how all this pain can be something he called tension myositis, where the brain shuts off oxygen to certain parts of the body as a distraction from feeling emotions that the brain thinks are more dangerous than actually being distracted with horrifying pain. And I was able to apply that to get rid of the back pain. Crazy, like it's just thinking, right? Just changing my thoughts, my perceptions. Then I discovered that there are many, many people in the same vein that suffer chronic fatigue. And it's almost like it's the same expression. And then I went even deeper and I found methods with German New Medicine, and even deeper than that, how I could tie it all together with basically everything else, right? And then when I started to apply these things, this is when I got really well. I got back to me again. I got completely back to me. And there's different subsets in all this. There's like the brain retraining. There's everybody's got a modality or this or that, the people that teach this stuff. But it falls under the same category of like the mind-body approach, mind-body, holistic, looking at the whole structure of you, and then putting you back together again in a systemized, structured way. And one of the tips I'd say you have to know is you need to measure things. You need to document what you're doing, because what gets measured gets changed. And so when you start quantifying, oh, how bad is the fatigue right now? Okay, what did I do about it? Okay, then I got better. Some of the techniques that I've learned and studied and did were really effective were like Mickle therapy, Dr. David Mickle, reverse therapy, Dr. John Eaton. They're almost like the same, almost the same. And then there's the lightning process. I did that. That was awesome. Totally transforming. And obviously, working with TMS practitioners, tension myositis, German New Medicine was the game changer for me. German New Medicine blew the door lids wide open. So when I tied it all together, it was like, bam, there it is. I put together a free course. If you want to learn what I think the top 5 conflicts are that cause this type of chronic fatigue according to the models that I use, you can take that course for free. It's at IamOK, just OK, the letters OK, IamOK.life. And if you go there, you can take this free course. And look, it doesn't cost anything but time, but it'll share tons of insights, and it might give you the opportunity to correct that mind-body situation that's going on. All right? Much love.